Hi friend, welcome back. This is your Dr. Iqbal and you are watching YouTube channel Avela Baba. Our today's topic is about the letter of reference. What is the letter of reference? Why it is required? What are the reasons when it is rejected? And what is an ideal letter of reference? Friends, if you're new to my channel and have passion for Canadian immigration and education, consider subscribing it for my weekly upload. This is a very important document for Canadian immigration, particularly when you are claiming your work experience. There are three main types of reference letters. One, employment reference letters, which are written by someone in a position to know a job applicant's skills, like employers, supervisors, and even your colleagues. Academic reference letters are used in a variety of situations, like fellowship or internship. A teacher or head of department may write this letter for a student. And character reference letters are also used for employment, academic, and when you need for a child custody to adoption application. Now the question is, why letter of reference is required? Letter of reference is for the purpose of immigration. It is basically like a letter of experience. Every principal applicant must have to submit the letter of reference, and his or her spouse must also submit that letter of reference if he or she claims his or her experience. The letter of reference verifies that you worked for an employer for the time you claimed and that your position matches the NOC code you have chosen. The letter of reference that you provide let the visa officer reviewing your application calculate how much work experience you have, since work experience is much an important factor for most economic immigration programs. The quality of your letter of reference can be a huge impact on your application. If the visa officer isn't convinced that your letter of reference is genuine or it's missing some information, the officer needs to assess the validity of your work experience. They may reject or refuse your application altogether. Your letter of reference is rejected. So what are the reasons for the rejection of your reference letter? There are various reasons when your letter of reference is rejected. So some of them I'm sharing with you. Letter is not on company letterhead. Supervisor name or title is missing. Company stamp or seal is not affixed. Company contact details are not given. Length of employment with dates not shown. Job duties performed do not correspond to NOC code, lead statement, or main job duties. Pay and benefits are not indicated. Employment status, either full-time or part-time, not shown. Either stamp or company seal is missing. And last but not the least is your letter is not verifiable. An ideal letter of reference should be written in a formal way, and ideally it should be an official document written on company letterhead, be signed by the responsible officer or supervisor, have responsible officer's name and job title printed and signed. It should include the company's contact information, address, telephone numbers, and email address. It must bear a stamp with company's official seal if applicable. If possible, show your roles and responsibilities corresponding to your NOC code you have chosen for PR application. It must show all the dates of your employment, annual salary and benefit. It must mention employment status, full-time or part-time, and working hours. And finally, your letter of reference must show clearly how much you have the total work experience in your claimed NOC code. Now remember, if the letter of reference does not have these things, it might be a red flag for your visa officer that employer issuing this letter of reference is not genuine. Now there are various issues with the letter of reference, like your past employer may not give you letter of reference and your current employer does not issue letter of reference because he thinks you would leave the company. This will affect your performance. Your relation with your supervisor would badly suffer. So don't worry, I'm sharing alternatives option for you that will work. Approach and explain your supervisor or senior colleague to issue such letter on a plain paper. Explain to them that there are no legal implications to them giving you this letter. Convince them that it is not a certificate of employment, just a reference from colleague attesting your credential of employment. Get this letter to official email ID if possible, and you must attach your company ID card, job offer, appointment letter, payslip, joining reports, your business card, etc. Now, when this situation happens, you should also submit an affidavit in which all these circumstances have to be mentioned. Ensure that all the requisite points are mentioned in the affidavit, including that your previous and or current employer is not giving you this letter of reference, and that why you are submitting a reference from your supervisor or colleague. Now I am sharing letter of reference and affidavit format. You may pause this video to take a screenshot for your reference. Please do not use the language, but you should use the format and personalize this letter and affidavit that suit your unique situation. You should never provide any fake information, because if subsequently it is identified your case not only be delayed but may be rejected forever. So friends, that's it for today. Thanks for having me. Take care. See you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.